Anthony, after more than a year of debate, the St. Ambrose University sports complex issue is going back to Davenport City Council again. Ashley Richmond has the details on what's happening tonight. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning, Emily. For the first time since he's been in office, Mayor Gluba struck down council's approval to rezone the area for SAU's football stadium last month. But tonight, council has a last-minute chance to override that veto and move the plans forward.
We look forward to working with the City Council on any questions they may have with our application to override the mayor's unprecedented veto.
Some say the mayor's veto came as a shock since the plans had already been approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission and Council, and St. Ambrose agreed to many conditions put on them by the council and city staff. At tonight's special meeting, SAU officials are hoping that a 2/3 majority will overturn the mayor's veto. That vote will determine if the university can go ahead with its plans or if they'll have to find other options, like working with Assumption High School to build the stadium. And St. Ambrose officials say they're ready to address the issues that caused the mayor to overrule the vote.
It's very disappointing, but you know, because we've done all the legwork early and to get to this point. But you know, we have faith in that the City Council will vote to overturn this.
The special meeting is at 5 tonight in the council chambers at Davenport City Hall. Ashley Richmond, CBS4 News this morning.
Thank you, Ashley. After a long night of negotiations, Galesburg teachers are officially going on strike. It was a long night at the First Lutheran Church in Galesburg. After more than 3 hours of meetings, dozens of teachers came out holding picket signs. The Galesburg Education Association met for the second day in a row, this after an earlier afternoon meeting between union negotiators and the school board. The board offered a proposal to the Galesburg Education Association, which was presented to a crowd of teachers last night at the church. However, they rejected the offer, saying it fails to address their primary concerns.
You know, you can't offer a quality, you know, a contract that is not worthwhile, that's not comparable to our area, our Midwest Large Unit District Association of Schools that we belong to, and expect that you're going to attract quality educators here.
Teachers will begin striking this morning at their respective schools. No word yet on when the next negotiation meeting will be. Kerry Olson's alleged killer pleads not guilty. Yesterday, Timothy McVeigh appeared at the Rock Island County Courthouse for his preliminary hearing and arraignment. He pled not guilty to first-degree murder and concealment of a homicidal death in connection with Kerry Olson's murder. Olson vanished last December. Her body was found in April in rural Minnesota. Police arrested McVeigh last month. His trial date has been set for September 29th.
We are going to have a lot of witnesses in this case. There's a lot of evidence, a lot of documents, and there are really 3 states involved: Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. So it is, again, a case that is going to take a lot of work to get ready for trial, and so we will be letting that information known to the court as we get further into this case.
McVeigh's next court appearance is his pretrial hearing September 12th. So far, there has been no request for a change of venue. The judge did deny a request that would have prevented cameras from being inside the courtroom. 3 local law enforcement officers were honored at Moline City Hall last night for placing a child sexual predator behind bars. Chris Langlois has more on the detectives' trying months of investigating, which led up to the bust.
2 Moline Police Department detectives and a member of the U.S. Secret Service received awards in front of the City Council. It was a chance for the city of Moline to say thank you for the long nights and careful police work leading to the arrest of a predator.
That feels good, and you get the department and the city to recognize the efforts that we do, and you know, there were a lot of hours that were put into this case, and a lot of extra hours away from families.
In late 2012, the detectives received a tip that a young girl was approached online for sexual contact with an adult. The girl's location was out of the department's jurisdiction, but the suspect, Daniel Becker, was just miles away in Carbon Cliff. Weeks later, the department received another tip. This time, the young girl was from the Quad Cities. The detectives, along with the Quad Cities Cybercrime Unit, obtained a warrant to search Becker's home. Their findings: 13 identified underage victims, many more unidentified. The detectives say it goes to show that the most heinous crimes can happen in your area no matter where you live.
I don't think that it's any less of a problem because we're in the Midwest in a smaller community or area. In the Quad Cities, we have and have experienced every single problem that's experienced throughout the United States. To be vigilant, talk to your kids, talk to them about social media, talk to them about the bad and the good.
Back in June, Becker was sentenced to 24 years in federal prison for the exploitation of children and the possession of child pornography. Chris Langlois, CBS4 News This Morning.
Thanks, Chris. Tonight, the Riverboat Development Authority and the City of Davenport will meet to discuss the new land-based casino. The new plan creates a nearly 70,000 square foot, one-story gaming floor, complete with a new grand entrance and a dining area. The new building would replace a courtyard and merge the hotels and banquet halls, but the number of slots and tables would stay roughly the same as on the boat. Today's meeting is at 4 p.m. And folks in Rock Island will once again discuss plans for an urban deer hunt tonight. Applications for the 2014-2015 archery deer hunting season are now being accepted. You can pick up an application from the front desk of the police department, Rock Island Parks and Rec office, or online. All potential hunters must return completed applications by August 22nd. The city will hold an informational meeting tonight at 5:30 in the City Council chambers. Rock Island's controversial plan to build a retail development has been denied by a judge. Monday, a court ruled against the shopping complex known as Jumer's Crossing. The plans have caused heated debate among Big Island residents ever since Rock Island purchased the land over a year ago. The biggest concern, the proposed road would cut into their flood protection levee.
Cutting into our dike down there, cutting 300 feet out of the dike was a big concern. Flooding used to be a big problem, but since we've had the dike, it is not a problem anymore.
Rock Island Mayor Dennis Pauley says the city will appeal the decision. A nearby racing community thinks changes need to be made following the deadly accident involving Tony Stewart. The co-owner of the Peoria Speedway says what happened between Stewart and Kevin Ward Jr. at a race in upstate New York is all too common. Drivers across the country often leave their cars to yell at other drivers, even if it means risking their lives. Now the co-owner of the track is considering what he can do to prevent drivers from leaving their cars. It's already against the rules for a driver to leave his car during a race, but the only punishment is disqualification. Harsher punishments could discourage drivers from taking part in this dangerous act.
There's a lot of adrenaline when they're racing. They can't shut that off like on and off switch. It's not uncommon for somebody to get out and show their displeasure. Is it against the rules? Yes. Do we try to make it not happen? Yes.
The co-owner is considering cutting the driver's race pay if they leave their cars during a race. Good morning, Anthony. You know, we've been hit with several blows in the last few days. Of course, Robin Williams and the NASCAR race as well. So it's great to see people taking a proactive stand to say, hey, what changes can we make to make sure this doesn't happen again?
That's right. You know, a lot of shock and fear there whenever you're at the racetrack and you see something like that happen, and to think that the penalties are really not all that strong for that.
Right, and sometimes it takes folks creating rules to say, hey, you can't do this for your own protection.
For your own protection and for those around you. So
right.
Hopefully some changes will be coming there. Changes will be coming in our weather too. It's rather chilly out there right now, but clear skies will allow plenty of sunshine for today. There were a couple of showers there across Wisconsin earlier this morning, but those have faded away. So a nice day in store for us for today. What about the rest of the week into the weekend? Those details coming up. You're watching CBS4 News This Morning. Time now, 5:42.
You're watching CBS4 News This Morning with Emily Scarlett and meteorologist Anthony Peoples. This is CBS4 News This Morning.